It may not look like it, but this busy street belongs to an educational institution. Situated in the center of the Japanese capital, Tokyo, is Sophia University. Some 12,000 people make up the student body, and 1,800 exchange students enroll every year.
What is really important for us is exchange students. Some of them are very vocal, as you can probably the American students and European students, they don't hesitate to talk in class. So, it's a very good stimulus to our students.
Exchange students come from over 70 different countries. Sophia also has study abroad programs. Over 1,000 students from Sofia attend universities and colleges in 48 countries every year.
Sofia had a very open and international community, very interesting and very famous professors as well.
Everybody here is very sunny and they are full of energy, and I really like it.
When you go abroad, the place you learn the most about is where you're from. So I think what I've learned about Japan will strengthen also what I know about my own culture.
Universities reflect changes taking place in the world. In this program, we explore the methods and ways of globalization that Sophia University is progressing towards. Bringing the world together, the challenge of Sophia University. Tokyo, the Japanese capital, is home to 13 million people. Sofia is situated in the city's heart. It's close to the National Diet Building and State Guest House. 3 rail lines serve stations nearby. A standout feature of Sofia is its ease of access. Sophia University is a private Catholic university that was founded 100 years ago. It has 9 faculties and 29 departments, including theology, humanities, law, and science. All are situated on the same campus. "550 faculty members serve 12,000 students, with 90 professors from abroad. The Faculty of Liberal Arts teaches international economics and comparative culture, with all classes in English. In addition to global environmental studies, there are several other courses offered in English. The university also has several off-campus dormitories for both Japanese and foreign students. There are 6 dormitories with a total of 678 rooms. Stephanie from Kenya, an environmental studies major, has lived in one of the dorms for the past 9 months. It has its own toilet, a refrigerator, and air conditioning. The bathroom is shared. Stephanie buys groceries at the supermarket nearby and cooks for herself in the communal kitchen.
So the fact that Sofia has a lot of English taught classes, has a lot of foreigners, and it's in the middle of the city, it's in the middle of Tokyo, and that's also one other fact. I did not want to go, I wanted to be in the city, experience life in Tokyo, not go, to the, far away from Tokyo. I wanted to be right smack in the middle of the city.
The university also supports a strong lineup of societies and clubs for a broad range of interests, including sports, music, and theater. The students themselves manage over 270 clubs. To explore how Sofia is progressing toward globalization, we talk with 3 foreign students. Also, 3 Japanese students who have experience in studying abroad. And 3 faculty members joined in the discussion. Our moderator is sophomore student in the Faculty of Liberal Arts, Rika Lilly.
So, are there any pros, advantage of being in Sophia University?
Since it's small, you see your friends a lot.
Right? No, I was thinking that too. You never have that alone moment at Sophia because you always run into someone.
I went to Georgetown University, so Georgetown University is so big and beautiful, but compared to Georgetown University, Sophia University is much small. Class is also small, that it is easy to communicate with professor in Sophia University.
At Sophia, really kind. Sometimes I just finish my second period, and I just look at my phone, and 3 people send me a message, "What are you doing for lunch?" I was like, "Oh, I have 3 appointments. I have to choose among the 3." It's really nice. You don't have to eat alone. You always be with some people discussing about your country, about intercultural. I mean, it's nice, really nice. I appreciate it.
I think choosing Sophia University as my university here in Japan is a right choice. Ever since I was a kid, I really loved Japanese culture. I have also studied Japanese in my home university for 2 years. I just recently joined Aikido circle.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but since I have no experience whatsoever with martial arts, I'm just starting. I think I just joined 2 weeks ago. All the Japanese people in that club are very friendly, and it's heartwarming.
I met a lot of exchange students, and then I became friends with them. And now that they went home, but I can always visit them. They will be the reasons why I really want to go to that country.
Yeah.
It's so nice meeting new people, exploring different things, and it definitely changes the outlook and perspective I have, I guess. I got 4 new friends over there. The global community aspect and just meeting people, I feel is the most important part of the exchange program.
I'm very happy to listen to your wonderful story. You very enjoy the things of here, and you also enjoy the supporting and exchange the friendship with the international students. That is one of the purpose why we want to promote our internationalization and globalization.
At Sofia, all faculties and research facilities are situated on the same campus. This means schedules can be tailored so that students of different faculties can join the same class. The theme of this class is a critical approach to the concept of sustainable cities. Students from the Faculty of Science and Technology, Humanities, and Business and Economics make up the class. The students draw on their different backgrounds as they explore the characteristics of various cities in Japan. Davisi Buntharm, originally from Thailand, is an associate professor specializing in architecture and urbanism. The literature major takes on the viewpoint of history and culture.
Why I asked you to research Shotengai?
They had the train on the ground, but then they changed into metro. Then they reconstructed the railways. They made parks and stuff. So it was a great example for sustainability, and they made use of the place.
The economics major's focus is on the distribution of goods and consumption.
Easy way of making a living, it provides that leisure and activities for the people. So it's good for the people who need to make a living. It's also good for people who want to enjoy their time in the area.
This student from Science and Technology investigates whether the town's buildings have had any effect on its sustainability.
So from the mechanical and electrical engineering background, I would see many more solutions for these problems that buildings often have.
Sophia University takes a more interdisciplinary approach to the class.
Multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, transdisciplinary is necessary. So this is a kind of the education plan in which I think in this university trying to, how to say that, make it as real as possible. I think dealing with the city, you need to accept other people's voice, to discuss, to bring your own discipline, but to be able to, find the common solution or debates or having a good discussion, a lively discussion in order to make a good city.
Could you tell us a little about the relationship between Sophia University and their universities?
We have a lot of connection with a lot of countries, and not only for English countries, but for like Russian university or Spanish university. I think there's no other university in Japan like Sofia have the connection with the non-English speaking university. So I think that's a good point of the Sofia.
Sofia has a mission as a Jesuit university. So one of the main purpose why we want to make the internationalization is try to make a platform or academic platform.
Could you explain a little about the Society of Jesus?
Yeah, the Society of Jesus was founded in the 16th century, and the main work of the Society of Jesus was always education. Jesuit universities are found in many countries around the globe. This network has constituted the basis of the internationality of Sophia University ever since the institution began.
Sophia University has a huge network across the Jesuit community. What led to Sophia's founding was the arrival in Japan of Jesuit missionary Francis Xavier 460 years ago. He highly valued the intellectual ability of Japanese and expressed a wish to establish an educational institute. The university officially opened in 1913. Its first president was Father Hermann Hoffmann, S.J. of the German Jesuits. International exchanges took off from this time, with Sophia's Jesuit network bringing in outstanding teachers from abroad. Sophia's international counterparts include Georgetown University and Fordham University, both founded by the Society of Jesus. There are more than 200 higher educational Jesuit institutions in the world, with around 80 universities and over 640,000 students. There are 243 partnered schools with Sophia University in 49 countries. Students are able to learn worldwide with the exchange programs through the connection of the Jesuit network. Officials at Sofia are working on ways to broaden their network. One avenue they're exploring is educational partnership agreements with international organizations like the United Nations. In June 2014, students gathered at a symposium held at Sophia University, organized by the Japanese former ambassador to the U.S. The guest speaker was David Malone, the rector of the UN University. Dr. Malone believes Japanese universities must change if they are to progress.
Japanese universities are perceived in the outside world as very high quality but extremely conservative. Sophia is one of the most forward-looking, but I'd say the biggest handicap of Japan in recruiting foreign students is how conservative the universities are, and teaching methods in Japan, which tend to be very top-down, very, frankly, boring compared to increasingly what is the norm internationally and what is interactive. So if Japan wants to attract more international students, and it does, universities are going to have to change.
So what are some of the problems that you see at Sophia University? I think that, public speaking, here we don't have that opportunity to do. So I think, we need more classes like public speaking class.
One of the big things in like American business schools, like at Boston College or any of the other big ones, they have a lot of case competitions. Any of the big companies do it, big international companies, they'll come to your school, present a mock problem or something. It may even be a real problem. And then they'll say, solve this problem and come back with a presentation in a week and present it to us. And so those are really nerve-wracking because usually they give a job offer afterwards or they tell you, oh, yeah, that was an okay job, and never talk to you again, basically. So it's kind of like,
oh my God.
You're in a group of 4, so it's all right, but then again, you have to know your stuff, you have to present in a business, complete business attire, and no mistakes, and
in my home university, my experience for that is that in my English class, extemporaneous speeches in front of class, like we get a topic and then we read it and then we say our opinions about it. So it's kind of pressuring because you have no preparation at all, and then you will say something about that topic, complete with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Yeah, it's a rule. Our professor the professor in my English class really trained us to do speeches like that.
Very good, useful to improve our better curriculum of Sophia University. Now still trying to make more improvement of the teaching in English and learning in English more. So that is one of the main topics. Now I'm one of the coordinating the classes for the international cooperation. We invited some people who is working for the International Cooperation Agency in Japan, and they teach us some special topic. Also, we want to broaden our program, which are more closely related with global issues or current issues in the world.
Globalization has meant that issues which demand international attention have diversified. One of the issues that Sophia is focusing on is environmental issues. For more than 20 years, Anne MacDonald has researched environmental problems affecting regional Japan. A Canadian academic, she has participated in conservation projects and worked with Japanese government bodies such as the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries and the Ministry of the Environment. Professor MacDonald takes her students to Osaki City, located 400 kilometers north of Tokyo. She conducts her research to protect the migratory birds, as well as offering her students hands-on experience. Migratory birds called white-fronted geese have become the subject of protection. Up until 70 years ago, these birds were seen flying across the country. Their lair and feeding grounds, which were once swamps and rice paddies, gradually turned into a landfill. The fields were decreasing rapidly and the geese became scarce. And so in 1971, it became a national treasure. Osaki City now has an environmental protection ordinance which calls for the reconstruction of wetlands and rice fields. One method is an ancient farming practice in Japan, which farmers in the winter flood the paddies with water. This leads to the growth of fungi and sludge worms, which attracts the birds.
And I feel some things. Look at
The birds' feces mix with the mud, and the harvest of high-quality rice is then produced.
Developing some of the solutions will definitely need to have more of a cultural sensitivity to them. And I think once we move into that and integrate the science, the good science, with cultural sensitivity, I think we might move forward on different sustainability solutions that make sense to the areas and the people, ecological sense, but also socially and culturally appropriate. And Japan is a great place to start thinking about that from.
To boost its conservation activities, the city registered the site in 2005 under the Ramsar Convention for the conservation of wetlands and water birds. The convention's concept is wise use movement. Professor McDonald's research and regional approach to environmental issues has set an example throughout the world.
Was a great opportunity to travel, and so we went there during the weekend. It was like, so not only fun. I mean, I was on the field.
Right.
It was an experience for me to get really in contact with environmental problems and how to solve them, how to use the field, how to use organics. I even learned one word like yukisaibai. I was so happy to learn it.
We're very happy to hear that your wonderful experiences. We also want to send the Japanese Sophia students to study abroad more. They prefer the English Western-speaking countries, but we prepared some programs in Africa or Asia or some Indian service learning or something.
A lot of people, just like here in Japan at my home school, want to study in the UK, want to study in Spain, want to study in Italy, and those are what most people consider comfortable places to study. And while they may learn the culture, they don't learn that much about the world is the problem. We've also got mission trips to Ghana that happen and other African countries that happen every year, almost every month. Africa was the next logical choice.
I think we always try to find out the way to exchange the students and maybe faculties to plant a seed for future sort of an exchange. And I think Sophia is determined to do that kind of things. That is maybe the good point of this university.
This is the embassy of the Republic of Benin in Japan. Zomahon Rufin was appointed ambassador in 2012. He is a Sophia University graduate. Since he was young, he had an interest in Japan's post-war history and education and how the country progressed into a developed economy. He came to Japan in 1997 and enrolled in the master's program at Sofia. Benin is in West Africa, facing the Gulf of Guinea. Its population of around 9.5 million makes it the continent's smallest country. As a developing economy, there are a range of problems, such as water shortages and a lack of schools. Ambassador Rufin's connection with Sofia has helped him find ways to give back to his country. It has enabled him to bring to Benin both his knowledge and a network. He has since built free schools for poor children and has established an NPO to provide aid.
Sophia University emphasizes not only technology or communication, also human studies, education, the society, the family links, which are the most important virtues to the human being.
The ambassador draws on his personal experience in lectures and media appearances to further promote cooperation between Benin and Japan. His efforts were rewarded by the country's president, who has enhanced diplomatic relations with Japan. A Japan-Benin summit took place in June 2013. The parties agreed to support cultural exchange and cooperation and promote development between the two countries.
Spirits of Sophia, which is the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of seriousness, the spirit of peace. That's very important. You have to be a useful person to your society as a foreigner and to the Japanese society as a Japanese citizen and also to the whole world. So Sophia is a very special status and we have to be proud of that. Thank you very much and may God bless you.
Do you think that, by Japanese students going to your college or, somewhere in Africa, do you think they can learn those kind of things?
Yeah, I think they will learn more of Africa because Africa is not just what they see on TV, Sometimes they just see bad sides of Africa. They will only put on Africa is poor, Africa. Yeah, we are poor, but we are not ashamed of our poverty. We need help, yes, but stop. We don't like that they put our face like really Africa is about bad continent. Right. No, in my country there are still people who live in the forest. Government is just helping them to live with their style, not helping them
to keep the culture.
Yes,
as
to
it
keep
is.
the
Right.
culture as it is. So you can find some areas like that in Cameroon or in Africa, but I think they will learn more about it. They will really, their mind will be really open about what they saw on TV.
I think it's really important to get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
So through our discussion today, like how did you feel?
Think globally, but also act locally. The
Right.
Sofia has one of the universities, hub of the university in the world.
After our discussion, I think our university is quite good.
Yeah.
No,
of course.
So I think the student could have a lot of different experiences based on this university, and that is a sort of a strength or the advantage of this university.
Sofia's 100th anniversary, the following message was stressed, Sofia bringing the world together. And Sophia University will continue to form people who will link the world together in multidimensional terms. Thank you.
Just because you were friends at Sofia, it doesn't mean that you're, after you graduate or after that person goes back to their country, it doesn't mean that your friendship is over. I think that's a really good part.
So we call it the Sofia family.
Yes, we are all Sofia family.
Sofia family.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Sophia continues to reach out to the world. The university recently signed an agreement with the United Nations High Commissioners of Refugees, UNHCR. The UNHCR has over 7,600 members in 125 countries that support the organization. They have implemented measures for the protection and support of refugees. The agreement makes it possible from this summer for students to intern at the legal department offices of UNHCR in Japan.
We can do together, and we would be very much looking forward to work with a prestigious university such as Sofia and get a lot out there from this partnership. So I personally look very much forward to deepening this cooperation with Sophia University.
Sophia University continues to work to bring out strength in students of all backgrounds. From person to person, people to organizations, and from one field of education to another. These continued efforts to foster human ties are what makes Sofia a unique place to learn.